There's more thought process inside of the racing instead of who has the biggest set of underneath of them.
This one is big in the history books. Ryan Villopoto is your Pro Motocross champion.
Ricky Carmichael clinched the title for the 2006 AMA Motocross Championship. He is the best that ever has been.
Welcome to Title 24, everybody, presented by NBC Sports. I'm Ricky Carmichael. That's Ryan Villopoto. We both are remote today. RV is in Mississippi at K-Dub's Farm 14. I am in the Bahamas on my last summer trip with the kids before they're off to college. Before we get going, let's thank our great partners. As usual, you know the drill. Boxo, Quadlock, Dunlop, Guts, and Cardo. You guys are the best. Thank you. Best products in the paddock for sure. RV, it was a hell of a weekend at the Pro Motocross Championship round, right? At Southwick.
Yes, I mean,
a lot of crashes, a lot of some decent battles, some drama. I mean, I think we should just get right into it. For the box still breakdown. You talk about breaking down this track and just the weekend and a boatload of injuries. Sadly, it seems like this championship took a massive hit. Some great riders going down. Hopefully, they'll be okay. Thankfully, but I mean, when you think of that as a whole, do you think that it was the track conditions? Do you think it was just rider error? I mean, obviously, it was a lot of them were rider error, but like, where are you at with that? And I mean, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I think Southwick, as you know, RC it's our really only true sand track that we have here in the U.S. And man, it can bite you really quickly. We saw a lot of those crashes were front end related. Actually, that one there, not so much front end related. That was Nick Romano. I think that was opening in practice there. Goes down really hard. Here's Sasha's big crash, second moto. But a lot of the ones that were in the turns, anyways, happen to do with the front wheels starting to push, slide, and then knife. Dude, Southwick's just a gnarly track, and I think that you have to respect it. And as you get tired, as you get a little more wore out, as later into the motos, you as a rider have to be able to manage that and pull yourself back a little bit and not full send until you end up on the ground.
Yeah, I agree with you. Hey, listen, I think RV, like when you were racing, I was racing, it was just as, it was fast for us back then. I know there's the argument about the bikes are faster now, and they are. Riders are super talented. The pace is high, the intensity is high. I mean, I know that the intensity is high when you were racing. I felt like the intensity was high when I was racing, despite the speeds. And you're exactly right. I think that like it is a gnarly track. It's always gotten rough. There's always been gnarly G outs, and it's some of the toughest conditions I feel that we face all season long. Not we, they face all season long, and we did back in our day. And again, you have to know when to peel back and when to go for it and just be super alert. And again, like you're going into the red zone, it's hot, maybe you're not thinking clearly, but those are the times that it can bite you. And I don't know. I want to give the track builders some grace. I don't know that it was all them, So it just, I hate it.
RC, I don't think it had anything to do with the track. I think it had to do with the conditions, the sand conditions, what the sand throws at these riders later in the moto, and as the track gets rougher and rougher, as they get a little more tired, and then all of a sudden, they lose a little bit of concentration. Maybe these riders, most of them, as we can see, me and you, RC, were more like the rider, a little more like Sasha, more like Haiden, where we were like controlled chaos, if that makes sense. And I think that obviously Sasha went down and did crack his collarbone. We'll get into that later in the show. But when you can have that controlled chaos, I think it helps in the sand a little bit, and instead of trying to be so perfect.
Yeah, 100%. I think, we can't just keep. I'm wondering if we're watching Lucas go down. That's hard to know if maybe there was a bike failure or something. Who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. Glad that he's okay. That was a gnarly get off. And of course, if you're watching, you see that's Deacon Dino. He was another one injured with the collarbone. Joe, Christian Craig, and Sasha. Just a brutal weekend. But I'm with you, dude. Like at what stage do you just say, hey, man? You gotta just, it's on you. The track conditions are what they are, right?
Exactly. And once again, RC, I think I've said it maybe one of the shows last year or the year before, like this is maybe one of those tracks for some of the riders that, hey, it's Southwick. It can bite you. Let's make it through here in the top 5. Let's salvage our points. We don't maybe have to win here. But if we end up on the ground, now, we're really shit out of luck, right? If we end up getting hurt. And maybe that's what the guys do in Europe. They go to Russia, they go to China, they go to all these different tracks. And if they maybe not be feeling it, they're not going to push that limit maybe as much as they would on a home track where where they are comfortable.
Yeah, well said. Hot topic. And I think I say it's a hot topic, but I think it's like underground, and some rumblings going along about the length of motos in motocross. And I think we've touched on this before, but we had a fan question before we get into the call from Cardo. I got some strong opinions about the call from Cardo. But let's see here. Pressby _once. Change outdoor format to Triple Crown. 15-minute motos. Last is 15 plus 2 laps. RV, I don't like the Triple Crown on an outdoor, not from the physical standpoint. I just think it's too chaotic and too long of a day, if you will, I believe for motocross. I'm a traditionalist for the most part. You were too. I love the longer motos. I love guys just, having to grit it out, the grit that it takes, the strength, the mental fortitude, and just being a damn dog. That's what I love about the Pro Motocross Championship. So I'm not for that type of change for the Pro Motocross. Where do you stand?
I agree. I think motocross that's what it is. Pro Motocross is 30 plus 2. Now, if we're going into the topic of like, oh, it's too long, these riders maybe are getting too tired and they're crashing. Like, I think the big thing is slowing the speeds down, not slowing the motorcycle down, slowing the track speeds down, getting the tracks built to where, they're not doing, say, 50, 60 miles an hour. The jumps could be smaller, tighter turns, make it more technical, make the Pro Motocross tracks more technical. So there's more thought process inside of the racing instead of who has the biggest set of underneath of them.
I know, with the bikes it's crazy. And I've said this multiple times, RV, like the bikes are getting faster and the tracks are getting straighter and less tighter, right? And like you said, there's not hardly any tight turns. There's a lot of sketchy, gnarly ruts. It is sketchy for sure. Those guys and the conditions they're going through are sketch for sure. But yeah, like I would like to see the speeds slowed down. So let's get into the call from Cardo. We're making the call. Again, just kind of expanding, and we can get in the weeds. So there's been some talk about maybe changing the format and some rumblings there within the paddock. And I'm torn, RV. And the reason that I'm torn, like I already said to you from the fan question, I'm a traditionalist. And I believe the harder you work, the better you should do. And you're rewarded for that hard work. You just talked about it. You worked your ass off. I did too. I could rely on my fitness a lot of times to get me through, and quite frankly, get me race wins, get me overalls, get me championships. I could kind of like hard work was better than talent, And yep. I feel like the world that we live in, the attention span these days is a bit shorter. So as far as the integrity of Pro Motocross, I don't want to change it because I love, like I said, I love the long motos, but the world that we live in, I think that we do need a change. I think for TV purposes, it'll greater our opportunity. No one's going to spend 5 hours on a Sunday or a Saturday watching races unless you're a true hardcore fan. You see all major sports, they're trying to shorten it up, whether it's pitch count, NFL is trying to slow things down. Like that 3-hour window is a sweet spot, right? Shorter motos that could also create more time for SMX. Next kids coming up as well. Maybe the Pro Motocross or the women's championship as well. Again, for the integrity of the championship, I don't like it, but for the future and the growth of the sport, I think that we should strongly consider changing that. Where do you sit on that? And if you were going to change it, like, what do you think would be good? Good change, a good compromise.
Man, I mean, you know, we're partners on this show, and it makes a better partner would be to disagree with you, RC. But from all of those things that you just said, I agree with the current world where everybody's at. You know, the attention span being shorter, and pro motocross, when you tune into it from the start of the show to the end of the show, it is a long time to sit there, and typically it's true fans that sit there and watch it, like myself and you and everybody that does tune into it. But if you are a somewhat of a newbie of it, and you're very interested in it, but then you're sitting there for 4 or 5 hours, you may get a little bit over it. And if it was in that 3-hour window, I could totally see that probably being in a benefit from a TV's perspective, from a new viewer perspective. I don't know how much shorter you could actually make it. In my opinion, I don't think anything less than 25 minutes is enough. I know so really you're 30 plus 2, so you're about 36 minutes. So you might be 10 minutes shorter per moto, 8 minutes shorter per moto. So I mean, how would you feel about a 20-minute pro motocross race, right? Like, and here's my other thing to say about if we did shorten it. And I know I've seen a lot of, you know, some comments about like, oh man, the riders getting hurt, like we kind of just talked about. You're now going to give these guys more ammo to not get tired. Guys going to be able to send it for the entire moto on a rough track like we just saw at Southwick. So now they're going to go down to the line of segment. Anybody, really, truly, to be honest, anybody can go 20 minutes wide open. It's that last 15 minutes, right, that really kick you down. So I don't know what the right answer is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, for the base of pro motocross and the heritage, and you think about just the years and what it was built on, I hate that we would have to change it, because I love it for all the reasons that you've explained, that I explained. But going forward, and you made it some great points, I don't have the perfect answer. I would think maybe 20 minutes plus 2 laps. I mean, it kind of waters it down.
That 25-ish, 24, 25.
Yeah, that's what I think we would have to do for TV purposes, and to potentially get growth, to get people to stick around for the Pro Motocross Championship. I mean, you're always going to have the people that watch every single weekend that have been born and bred around moto and just love it, eat, sleep, and breathe it. But the new people that we're trying to capture, like you said, it's going to be tough to dedicate 5 hours to that. To that day. And so the 3-hour window, like Supercross is and SMX, I think would be the goal. And however we got to do that, I think we should explore it. It pains me to say that, but listen, dude, everything is different, you know, like this generation that we live in, and we have to be able to we have to change with the times.
Yeah, and what I
don't have to like it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a double-edged sword for me also. I hate it on one hand, but I love it on the other hand, for that opportunity for SMX Next to get their shot on Saturday on those same tracks, to develop better riders. So in the future, maybe we can mitigate some of those injuries in the future, and we're not throwing these kids right into them. And if they don't perform in the first 5, 6 or the first season, boom, they're done. They're more prepared, that's what I do love about shortening it. And if we can fit them in on Saturday, that to me is a huge benefit, especially for my kid. I have kids that race and they want to go there one day, right? So that is the very positive side for me if we do shorten.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, a couple stats just to give you guys, everyone that's tuned in Title 24 today. Just a couple bullet points. In 2025, 0 lead changes in the final 5 laps in the 250 class. 2 lead changes in the final 5 laps in the 450 class. Okay. Then also in 2025, 1 podium position change every 3rd moto with 5 laps remaining in the 450 class. 1 every other moto in the 250 class. And again, I think that when I read those stats in RV, you know all about this. I think the biggest thing, and maybe I'm being a little bit selfish outside of the belief in why I love Pro Motocross and why you always love Pro Motocross, but not a lot of dudes are going to make up positions unless they're super, super fit. Like I loved the last 15 minutes. I'm sure that was your favorite, as it was mine, because I knew I was going to eat mothers alive. You know what I mean? Just like you. So.
Yep. No, I agree. And I think, also too, there's something to be said with the caliber of the top, like 2 or 3 right now, like take Hunter, take Jett out of it, and take Haiden out of that 450 class. And then look, now you go back to the guys that would probably have, passing or lead changes or something happening towards the end of the moto. We just have such high quality. The top 3 are just so high quality racers that they bridge a gap, and then there is no catching up.
Right. I got you. Well, that's it for the call to Cardo. Interesting subject. Glad to hear everyone's opinions. I'm sure we'll get them in the comment section. By the way, to all of our fans tuned in to last week, dude, thanks for the likes and the comments on RV and I's Instagram page, as well as our Title 24 Instagram page. Almost 750,000 views. We're rocking and rolling. That means we're being controversial. There's some stuff you like that we're doing, and some things you don't like, but we like it. We like them both. So we appreciate you guys. All right, when we come back, Jett and Hunter swapping the red plate. Who has the advantage now? We're going to break that down just here in a few short minutes. So hang with us.
Your new foot peg was kind of all the buzz. Can you talk to us about that and whether or not it helped?
Yeah, I think it definitely helped a little bit for my foot. It just kind of saved it for sure. And I think, I was able to use my legs a little bit more for sure. But also, I mean, my foot's still the same. So I think, I'm getting sick of my foot questions, because for me it hasn't changed at all, and I can still say the same things. But, I think we can ask them a lot more better questions for today, because there's a lot more things going on. So I think my foot hurts. It is what it is. I think we can move on from that.
Welcome back to Title 24, y'all. There you have it from the man, from his own mouth. He's tired of the foot questions, and honestly, I am too. I think it is what it is. I think he was super forthcoming. We talked about it on the show last week, and for the guts, hottest seat, dude, got to be Jett coming out. They swap red plates again. Are you tired of hearing about the foot questions?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from the media standpoint, it is kind of what it is. I think he's still dealing with it. Obviously, they, I thought the foot peg question was an okay question, because it is something new, and how does that benefit, or does it make it better than last weekend? But it is what it is. He's got to deal with it, and he said he's still got some pain in it, but overall, he's managing it. So at this point, like, how many times can we ask, how's the foot doing? How's the foot doing? So,
I know, right? It's just like, I feel like last week, RV, and we touched on it a little bit. I think he was the most forthcoming that he was about his foot. Like, hey, dude, it still hurts. It is what it is. I'm limited. So we all know that. Like, that is, now I feel like that is par for the course. That's where he's at, and he'll let us know if it gets better, and he's 100%, if he ever gets back to 100%. Well, I think, like you said, you brought up a killer point last week about changing your riding style. I got a lot of comments, and even people that are friends of mine that don't do moto, and then how they were listening to you and how he might have to adjust his riding and learn a new way to ride. They found that super insightful, and I agree with you. And I don't know, it might not ever be 100%, but I'm tired of hearing about it. He'll let us know when it feels better, I think.
Yeah, or we'll see, or when it starts to feel better, RC, do we see Jett go to the level that he was, or does he kind of stay the same and Hunter has bridged that gap? I don't know. I think Hunter is crushing right now.
Yeah. So that's what you talk about, the hottest seat. I mean, this is where I go back to Hunter and how good he was in the championship, Supercross championship portion of SMX. How he would maybe have a subpar weekend, but then he'd come back and just his resilience was really good. I'm not panicking by any stretch for him. I still like Hunter's chance just as much as I like Jett's. Hunter, I mean, dude, he's human. He made a mistake. He paid the price for it. Luckily, he's all right, and he still got out of there with a decent finish. So as far as the hottest seat, I don't know if I still think they're both sharing it, just like they're kind of going back and forth with the red plate.
Yep, I agree. I think that it's definitely a 2-horse race when it comes to them, and I think that other than that crash right there before mechanics area for Hunter, I think I wouldn't say Hunter had Jett's number, but it was a hell of a race, and I think Hunter could have went 1-1, at Southwick there if it wasn't for that little mistake that he made.
Yeah. Yeah, I like where he's at. And again, I think one of the reasons I think he's doing so well, number one, he's super seasoned, right? I love his approach. I think it's really good for the 450 class. We talked about it a million times on here. But he has the most time on that bike. He knows what changes, do what. And I'm excited for him. You think about Haiden and the 3-2 performance this weekend. Where were your thoughts on Deegs, and were you surprised at what he did on the top track?
I think that's exactly, honestly, if I were to sit here and say, oh man, he's going to race with Jett and Hunter, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see that fairly soon by the end of the season. Put it that way, that we see a full on where he can actually hang with them. I think it's going to a little bit depend on having the right track, him getting more comfortable, him getting better on the 450. But right now, big mistake right there, caught that front wheel right on the end there coming over the old finish line. But I think that he's doing exactly what he should be doing in the 450 class right now. To expect to come out and race with those two, Hunter and Jett, I think that was a big ask. I think that we see next season we see a different Haiden also, right? I think the more seat time he gets, the stronger he gets, the more mental maturity he gets racing the 450. I think we see him there in the future, and I think we see him there by the end of the year, 1 or 2 races for sure. I just those two guys, Hunter and Jett, are the best.
They're the freaking best. They've been 1-2 in the SMX World Championship the last 2 years. I mean, look, they're winning almost, or competing for all the championships, Supercross, Pro Motocross, you name it, right? And they are some of the best guys to ever do it. So you're exactly right. I think, dude, with Haiden, RV, it's you got to have realistic expectations, like you said. What RV is right, dude, you can't expect him to go out there and just put a whooping on Jett and Hunter. It ain't going to happen. Those guys are really, really good.
And I think I haven't asked Brian this, obviously, but I think that's probably in their playbook. Obviously, if they can capitalize on something, or if he's having that perfect weekend, great. But if not, I think what he's doing is going to plan in the 4th.
Yeah, and look at it this way, dude. I was doing a podcast this last week with somebody, and you take Hunter and Jett out. Dude, he's leading a championship right now. Yep. And he's happens to be racing the 2 best guys to have done it in a long time. I tell you what, and I'd like to know your opinion. I feel that Hayden's trajectory and this learning year, if you will, in the 450, I believe if he could polish his starts, when I say polish, I'm saying get better and be right behind Jett and Hunter more often. I feel like that's going to take his learning curve, RV, and steepen it up substantially. And he'll be running with them and be closer to them quicker than maybe what was anticipated, only if he's able to get behind them right out of the gate, because I feel like that's the best learning lesson possible.
Yep. His charts haven't been on point or as consistent, I should say, as they have needed to be, especially racing those two guys. You got to start up front with them, and Hunter. I think 2 whole shots, if not 2. He had 1 on the weekend, and those boys are getting consistently starting up front. And Hayden's been a little hit and miss on his start. So polishing those up definitely would help, because now you're going to start the race with them instead of having to pass up to second or third or fourth, and then try to bridge that gap. Which bridging that gap with those 2 guys, really hard to do.
They don't do a lot of things wrong, huh, RV? Like your ass, like, dude, if you're trying to make up points on RV in his heyday, good freaking luck. Because number one, unless the bike broke or he just absolutely offed himself, you could start dead ass last and come back and be on the podium. So, and that's what Hayden's going up against. So we'll put a button on that. Fantastic segment by Guts, hottest seat. I think, like Arvind said, they're both riding phenomenally. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this go down to the wire. I think it goes down to the last moto, assuming they both get through, and then watching Hayden's performance. All right, when we come back, I'm going to break down the 250s. So hang tight. We'll be back with you in a couple minutes.
Right now he's doing exactly. Oh no! He throws it away! Folks, this is the Sasha Coenen experience. Sasha Coenen, you're a winner in America. 1-1, take Southwick.
Oh, dude, like bittersweet day. Welcome back to the show. Title 24, RV and I here. All right, so hell of a day. I mean, bittersweet. Dude absolutely dominated, but man, took a tough lick. His riding style is about a little like ours, willing to hang it out, and with that comes chance to bust your ass, and that's what happened. However, it was a killer ride. And do you think his style is sustainable?
RC, it was super fun to watch as we watch opening lap right here. I think he did this 3 or 4 times literally within the first 8 turns of.
I love it, dude. I love that stuff, man, because it's just like he holds on to it, right? And it's just like you're waiting for the shoe to drop. It's so good.
Oh man, it was. Hey man, he I actually saw a clip from on Instagram of Brian Deegan saying, "Hey man, this kid sells tickets," and he's totally correct. Watching Sasha ride was, you don't know what you're going to get out of him. All you're going to get out of him is he is going to send it, which is really cool to see. Is it sustainable? I think it's sustainable outdoors. Now that being said, you can't be laying on the ground, and every time you lay on the ground is a chance that you're going to end up hurt. And it looks like he cracked his collarbone in that crash, and he was able to finish. Obviously, had a huge lead. Still, it shows you how tough and the determination that all these riders have. But like Sasha going down, getting up, cracked his collarbone, still finishes the race, still wins the race. So 1-1 performance, commanding performance. That said, both motos were huge leads. But is it sustainable here in the U.S.? And why I say the U.S. is because if the rumors are true that they are going to come over, it's going to be tough to be sustainable in Supercross with that style. He's going to have to calm down. He's going to have to, as everybody knows, when we watch Supercross, It's about timing. Yes, it's about speed, but it's not necessarily about all hanging it out outdoors. Okay, cool. It works out there 98% of the time outdoors. You can get away with it. Track's very wide. You know, the dirt kind of promotes that. Supercross, not so much. So that, to answer the question, sustainable, I don't think it's sustainable in the U.S. because of the Supercross side.
Yeah, I'm with you. And then, like anything, that's what I love when the guys from the MXGP come over here and they want to be over here. I'm being partial. I think it's the best series going on two wheels, SMX World Championship. And but if you can't make it through Supercross, I don't care how good you are. In Pro Motocross, just like you said, dude, you've got to be reliable and you've got to win in Supercross. It goes hand in hand. As far as his MXGP championship goes, talking about the schedule, I know you're up to speed on the schedule.
Yep.
So if his collarbone's broken, assuming he has to have some type of surgery, do you think it affects his championship run over there? Like, do they have consecutive races going on? Because I'm not fully sure of the schedule.
Yep. So I believe they raced Southwick, which was obviously a weekend off for MXGP. So that's why they were here at Southwick once again here in the U.S. They fly back to Europe, and the next round of MXGP is Fox Hills or Matterley Basin, one of the two. But yes, there's a race coming up. And that being said, trainer, dad, if you're looking over him, I believe he has a little over a race lead on second, which, you know, getting a plate on the collarbone, if that's what they decide to do, and knowing his speed and knowing that he has won a fair amount of races, I think that you hold off for the weekend, right? And you come back with maybe a deficit points of say 5 or 10, whatever that is. Now their series is a bit different than ours, right? They're qualifying races that they get points for on Saturday. And then they get championship points on Saturday. If you win, right? So then, then you come back, at least you give yourself 2 weeks, 1 weekend. So it's 2 weeks, midweeks that are off. And then you come back and try to get that red plate again. I think that's probably the move that I'm telling. If I'm training somebody like that, that's probably what I'm doing. I don't know, if it's the smartest thing to go surgery and then go straight back into it, just from the longevity purpose of like overall championship #1 plate. I think if you give up one race right now or one weekend right now, in the long run, it's probably going to end. It's going to pay dividends. Yeah,
I agree. Great explanation there. Going to be interesting to see. Bum for Sasha, riding hell of it. He was doing a hell of a job. Still got the 1-1, so that trophy would be cool on his mantle for sure. But hopefully he gets healed up. Be interesting to see how his championship run goes. And I think it'd be great to have those boys over here next year, for all intents and purposes. For all intents and purposes, they'll be over here.
Yep. So it is RC. It's Fox Hills, Czech Republic, then Lommel. Right. So anybody has ever seen Fox Hills? I know you raced it, MXON, what, 91?
98. Oh, 91, dude.
98. I knew it was 99s. I knew it was in the 90s. So, those hills are really steep, right? So I know they did a big track change, or, they definitely made it GP, to have those caliber riders there, because it was pretty old school, and it still is old school, but steep hills. So I don't know. I think a weekend off is probably going to suit him.
Yeah, I do as well. All right, Dunlop debate. So we talked about it last week. Another one of the injuries. Joe Shimoda. I thought the championship was going to come down to him and Cole Davies. Joe goes down, unfortunately breaks his collarbone and whacks his melon. So hopefully, Joe, you will be okay, buddy. Hate to see that happening, because I loved where he was at, dude, from a championship perspective. Just hate to see that. He's had a rough go. It's been a rough 12 months for him. But your boy Levi, he did a good job. He came back. He was consistent back in this. So this overall, as far as the debate goes, I mean, who could it be, dude? Like, you think of the finishes. There's a rundown right there. Cole Davies, what, 2 points in the lead.
Yep.
Kitch is 2 points back. Joe's out, so he's gone. Juju 33 back. I mean, at this stage for the title, I only see Juju having a real shot to inserting himself.
Yep, and I think that's a long shot. You know, I think Juju's been riding well, but as for a championship standpoint, I think it's a real long shot. RC, in my opinion, it's a 2-horse race. Cole Davies and Levi, and you know, Levi rode really well this weekend. A couple little mistakes, but was able to rebound. Consistency is going to be key, as we've talked about it a million times on this show. Is you know, maybe not. You don't have to be the best every single weekend, but you have to be the most consistent. And I think with Joe out now, you know, I feel like Joe is a little more consistent than these two typically. But once again, I say that and I put my foot in my mouth because he wasn't consistent. He ended up down on the ground, collarbone, and whacked his head a little bit. So he's out. So consistency is going to be key, and I think that we have a really good race on our hands because between Levi and Cole, different riders, different riding styles, but very similar when it comes to speed and outdoors at this point, and what they are, the mistakes that maybe are out there for the two of them.
Who do you think is in the best shape? I shouldn't say best. I shouldn't use that word. When you think about Cole and you think about Levi, since they're the top runners right now, like, and guys that are fit, right, and not getting gassed in Moto 1, so they're absolutely torched going into Moto 2. Like, do you give any of these guys an advantage, or do you feel as though, because sometimes I feel like they're all kind of in the same physical shape, right?
I agree, RC. I totally agree with that. I think that with the Levi being more of a veteran than Cole, especially outdoors, you know, I think if you were to ask me that question 2 years from now, and we were dealing with this, and Cole was 2 years into this, 2 or 3 years into pro motocross, I'm going to have to go with Cole to being able to dig deeper maybe than Levi. But because of Levi is more of a veteran than Cole outdoors, I think it puts them kind of equal at this point, but equal in different ways. They're completely different.
Right. Well, it's going to be fun to watch. You know, I just like, I'm not even trying to build some narrative or anything. I think it's those three guys. Well, obviously it's just, you look at the points. It's between Levi and Cole, and Juju definitely has a chance to get in there with a little bit of luck, maybe some 1-1s, only 33 points back. But at the same day, gives an opportunity for the other guys. And I think it's just one of these series. It's very similar to, like, I think at the beginning of all these championships, especially Supercross rounds, RV, when everybody's healthy, you try to build up this stupid narrative of like, what's this guy going to do? What's this guy going to do? And I'm just one of those dudes like, can we just let the damn thing play out, right? And let the racing do the talking and let the racing build the story. I mean, when we get later in the stretch, when there's, you know, not much to talk about, then you can start building some narratives and all that. But I think this 250, again, has been the gift that's been giving every single race. And we're going to break it down on the next segment, because Spring Creek, Millville, track I love, a track I know you love, that is going to promote some fantastic racing. So when we come back, we'll break it down for you guys. All right, welcome back to Title 24. RV, here we go. Pro Motocross Championship, Motorsports on NBC this week coming up. Race day live. Oh, we're going to be in Spring Creek, Millville. Race day live, 11 a.m. Peacock. Check that out. And then, of course, the gate drop is at 2 p.m. on Peacock. Make sure you check that out on Saturday. And then the SMX Insider post-race show be following that directly after the race there. It's going to be epic. So make sure that you tune in this weekend. That is a fantastic track. I love Spring Creek, one of the best tracks on the circuit outside of Redbud and a few others. The Martins, Jeremy, and they all do a great job over there. Just a fantastic family. They got their finger on the button over there for sure. You talk about Spring Creek, and we're just talking about the 250 class on that last segment, RV. Levi had some things to say about the next couple weekends that Michael Antonovich got for us this weekend. Again, all the riders, thank you for giving all those sound bites. Roll it, Aaron.
Yeah, just probably rest up this week as much as I can. You know, do a little bit, obviously, but it's just so hot in Florida, so you got to be kind of careful. Just going to Millville. I really like that place.
You know what you're doing and how the program is, but what do you do to attack that back half after the first part that you've had?
Just try not to, like, change anything, really. Try not to overthink it. I mean, I'll probably get some advice from Ken, see what he was doing in that Supercross championship, and I think he just takes it, you know, day by day, or, you know, that's what I think is just going to be the best for any of us. You know, you just got to try to do your best every time you're out there, and, like, even though Moto2 today, I was slow, but, you know, like, I suffered. I mean, we all did, but, like, I'm going to try 100% every time, and as long as I do that, you know, I can leave, you know, with my chin up, so.
Hey, go over to Motorsports on NBC's YouTube page to check out Title 24's exclusive post-race shows. Michael's been doing a great job, and the riders have been giving us insane content. So thank you very much for that. I'm looking forward to Millville. You like some Millville? You like Levi's chances?
I do, especially because I feel like he's one of those riders that feeds off of a place that he likes. So I think that's good for Monster Energy Pro Circuit, Levi himself. But I also feel like I think that is a place that Cole's going to ride very well too. He hasn't been there, but I just feel like we talked about it a couple weeks on the show. Just because you haven't been there doesn't mean these guys are seasoned enough. They have enough seat time. They should be able to. By lap 5, they figure it out, and by Moto 1, they have everything figured out. And I feel like it's going to be a place where Cole is quick too. So you know, if I'm sitting here Saturday and I'm watching this thing, which I'm going to be, I think we have a good race on our hands between those two. Levi's got to dial the starts in though. Cole seems to be getting pretty good starts typically. And mitigate those mistakes. That's going to be the big thing from both of them, because those are the two. It's a two horse race, like I said. So you know, I haven't looked at weather either. Can be a scorcher there. It could have a little bit of rain. You never know, right? It's pro motocross.
That's right. You're exactly right. All right, dude. So we do it every week. Quad lock question of the week. And this is an interesting one, and I shouldn't assume, but we're going to on this one, that it's in regards to Haiden Deegan. But the quad lock question of the week winner goes to Logan Abner. Logan, thanks for being a listener. And Logan wants to know, how long did it take you guys to feel comfortable on the 450? So you go first, RV.
Well, I think, you know, comfortable is one thing, and I think that happens very quickly. I think Hayden's comfortable on the 450, and I think there's nothing that
Were you though?
I was comfortable right away. Now, could I ride it like I was 3 years into my 450 career, my year one? No. You know, that's like a little bit of confidence. That's also your body, your mind, everything maturing. So that's why I kind of said, like, Hayden's doing exactly what he should be doing right now. If you give him 24 months, another 12 months or another 24 months on the 450, I think you see a different Hayden, a better Hayden, somebody that could race with Jett and Hunter every weekend. But currently, I think he is comfortable. I think there's nothing that he's like, oh man, I don't like this, or I feel like this. I think he's riding the 450 great. I just think he's not seasoned enough on it. like Hunter, like Jett is, like you or I was when we moved up to the bigger bike. It took us, you might be fast on it, might feel great on it, very comfortable, but you still weren't at your peak. I think that peak takes time. It takes maturity. Your muscles, everything matures.
Yeah, time, experience, learning how the bike works, reacts in different situations. Like, yeah, that process takes a while. Exactly right. Hey, did you win your 250s or 450 Supercross championship your rookie year?
Nope. I went 450 09, and then my first one was 11.
Okay, so it took you 2 years, same as me. So Logan, great question. I think, like RV said, it takes some time. If you're talking, we're assuming you're talking about Haiden. It takes time. Like RV says, he's not 100% seasoned. These other guys that he's racing are, especially Jett and Hunter. They've been in it now for several years. They know how the bike works. They know how the track deteriorates. It's different conditions. I think the learning curve and what Hayden's been doing, I think he's been adapting well to it. And, it would make him look like he's doing a lot better if he wasn't racing some of the two best guys to ever do it. So I think that's kind of like his performance gets overshadowed just because of how good and Jett, Hunter are. As far as me, RV, dude, I thought that I was comfortable my first season in 99, but got a massive ego reducer. I got hurt at the second round. I think I was P3 in the main event. Yeah, and I crashed. I think it was Larry Ward and Albertine were in front of me, or maybe it was Yogi and Larry Ward. I can't quite remember. And I was trying to, catch up to them, make the move. MC was shortly behind me. Yeah, I went down, and then I took 4 weeks off. And then it took me 2 years. I didn't win my first Supercross championship till 01. I did win my rookie season in MX. And that would have been
once again, RC, right? Like what we were talking about is you can get away with a lot more outdoors than you can in Supercross.
Yeah. Like it. Yeah, absolutely. I was able to win on my rookie. Did you run your rookie season in MX?
No. What was it? I think I did my knee at 09 at Glen Helen, which was the first round, or right after that, and then my ankle in 10, and then I came back. So 2011 was Supercross and Motocross. Those were my first.
Because after 11, you never lost, right?
Never lost Supercross, and then I missed 2 outdoors from 11 to 14 with ACL.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, there you go. Yeah, there you go, Logan. I think it's similar for some, and obviously different for others. I think it's I don't know. I think it depends on who the rider is and their personality and who you're going against as well. I think that has a big thing to do with it, right? Like who the hell you're racing against. If you're racing one of the best guys, you're going to be up against the wall, that's for sure. And it might not show just how good you are because of your competitor. So I don't know. Yeah. That was it, dude. I'm going to let you get back to it. I know you're in Mississippi. The boys are probably chomping at the bit. You got riders there at Farm 14. How long you going to be there, dog?
We'll be here about 2 weeks, and then we'll be off to Loretta's. Looking forward to it, man. It's been fun. It's like our little summer vacation out here, and boys have been fishing every day, and we're getting into the riding. We rode one day last week on Friday just to blow the cobwebs out with the 30-hour drive, and now the week starts. The 2 weeks starts, so we're starting today.
I love it. All right, tell K-Dub we said hey to Dunlop, Boxo, Guts, Quad Lock, Ricardo. Thank you very much. Remember, you can always watch us on Motorsports on NBC's YouTube page. Again, thanks for all the views and everything online, dude. We are super, super happy that you guys are enjoying the content. If you want to listen to the audio version, we're on all podcast platforms, as you know. So we appreciate everybody, and have a great week, and we will see you guys next week.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, you can get a whole lot more. Yes, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You get all the news, highlights, reviews, the whole lot. So go for it.